How's it going? This is Dr. Dave Train. I have a good friend in chiropractor, Dr. Melissa Arnold. How's it going?
Great. How are you doing, Dave?
Good. So how'd you get started in chiropractic?
Oh, wow. So I started as a massage therapist, probably around 1992. I graduated from a massage school.
Okay.
And I'm trying to make this brief, but it's a pretty awesome story.
No.
I actually, I was delivering pizzas, and I delivered a pizza to this headhunter guy.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, what do you do other than this? He saw my shirt, and I was like, yeah, I go to massage school. He's like, great. When you get done with that, I'd like to place you. And I kind of go with, like, I've always been sort of like, divinely guided and whatever, kind of like that, listen to the messages in my life. So
Absolutely.
I actually went back to that guy's house and delivered my resume, and he placed me in a chiropractic office that just happened to be a woman, Dr. Anderson, my mother's maiden name by whatever chance. And her father, Dr. Arthur Anderson, was a chiropractor, 89 years old. I became their massage therapist, so she would, refer me some patients, whatever, some clients. And I was massaging Arthur every day. He had been hit by a car when he was 72 years old, and they didn't set his leg properly because they thought he was going to die. This dude was a D. Jarnett protege. He learned from D. Jarnett, the SOT sort of guru guy back in the day. And this guy graduated in 1923, and he was dropping some serious philosophy on me. And I was only a massage therapist. I was like 21 years old. And I thought I was going to be a PT, my aunt's PT. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. I love it. And he was like, I think you're a chiropractor. So he's the reason I became, a chiropractor. I wish that I was able to enjoy his talks more now. I would have been like blown away. I mean, people were flying in from all over the world to see him. Because back then, we're talking 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I mean, it was like you were a crazy quack as a chiropractor.
Exactly, back then, right? Exactly.
People found him. It was awesome. Anyway, that's where I got my, inspiration.
Yeah. And then you went into chiropractic school. So, like, you remember what chiropractic school was like in the beginning?
Yeah. That was interesting too. I literally was like, what is this place? I knew like my experience was getting adjusted, by Dr. Arthur. He was my first adjustment, almost 90. And there's a lot of stuff going on at Life U. Back at, I went to Life University East, and the school was growing so massively, and me and a couple of my friends were like kind of disillusioned, kind of a lot of dogma at the time going on. We're like, what? This is some crazy stuff. And I actually had the opportunity. I was in prereqs, and I went to a lot of the clubs in school, but Dr. John DeMartini came. And he became one of my main sort of mentors I followed. And I was in prereqs, and he did a talk at the school, like sort of like off, I think it was off the campus a little bit, but that literally changed my life. I was like, okay, this is the reason why I'm here. And so DeMartini, I think, is one of my biggest influences even to today.
That's awesome. And then, so you went through chiropractic school, and then, so you graduated, and then did you open up shop right afterwards? Did you work before somebody else, or how did you get started in practice?
Yeah. I sort of, Arnaud Bernier was also a mentor. So I was sort of like, trying to do it on my own, and fell on my face, just right. Like, I'm just going to tell it like it is.
Sure.
I went into sort of like a share space kind of partner. It was supposed to be, that was going on. And, you just, I highly, highly recommend for everybody to work for somebody first, this day and age. And, we're in debt a lot. So I had maxed out my credit cards, this and that. I wasn't in the right part of town, whatever. I did my first screening at a health food store. Literally at the time, I had no idea how successful I actually was, but I screened 35 people in like 2 days.
Oh, wow.
23 came in.
There you go.
I did not understand this at the time, but I thought, oh my God, okay, whatever, 23 women. And nowadays, I mean, this is unheard of, right? So as they were coming in though, a lot of them were not, they were like, hey, I'm getting foreclosed on my house. Anyway, long story longer, it was just, not the ideal
scenario
doing it. Anyway, I still just went, okay, whatever, next, let's do what we can. And I started working in an office. I worked in a chiropractic office for a few months, and I was bartending at the same time. So I met a lot of people doing that job, bartending, and I kind of did a lot of side stuff. I was going to people's homes, and I slowly, got up a clientele that way. And then eventually I started working at a very large functional integrative facility here in Atlanta. I could go into I won't, but I had a long healing journey myself. And, having worked in this very large functional integrative facility, they literally helped me heal.
Wonderful.
So now, fast forward, I worked there for 8 years.
Okay.
And I literally feel like they sort of saved my life. I had chronic Lyme for like 30 years.
Wow.
Now I have my own wellness clinic in Sandy Springs here in Georgia, and pretty much all the various things that have helped me, in addition to my chiropractic and the zone technique, I do utilize other things. Like I have a hyperbaric chamber, I've got, functional nutrition that we do. I have a nutritionist, I have different things. I do have other modalities. However, I am straight up like chiropractic is the zone technique. And everybody gets adjusted as a foundation.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's wonderful. So then, I mean, during those different times when you first started a practice and then, moving into the integrated practice and stuff like that, like I know that sometimes it can be very tough, and sometimes a lot of chiropractors that I do know feel super isolated. I mean, what are some things that you kept yourself grounded, to push through, to break through, and to make it, to this day?
So things that ground me in the time frame that I've been talking to you about, like meditation has been a huge factor for me. I would highly recommend it, and it's the hardest thing I've ever done, and the most probably profound thing I've done for my own healing in my life is Vipassana meditation, where I took about 10 days out of my life. They basically take your phone, and you can't write in a book or anything like that, but you are just hardcore, like inner healing. And you're meditating about 14 hours a day and in silence for 10 days. That changed my life. And my health was the best I've ever felt. If you asked me on day one, how I'd feel in the middle of this, I would have been never, ever, ever have told you. I thought I was dying. I mean, I had all these chronic Lyme symptoms, like joint pain, wasn't sleeping, anxiety, panic. I was a mess. And day 6 of this thing, I could have run a marathon. That's how profound the healing was. So, meditation, exercise, getting with other people that are a little bit even more farther along maybe in success than me.
Got it.
Hanging out with those, types of people, getting inspired by what they're doing in their practice, bouncing ideas off of them, and going. I still, to this day, I'll go to someone's office and just observe with them and watch them work if they're doing more or what I want to be doing. So modeling after, what they're doing too.
That's awesome. And then, you did mention the zone technique. So it's when were you first introduced to that?
So in school, I just happened to know Dr. Pete. I was actually cleaning his house. I had a cleaning business when I was in prereqs, and I was cleaning his house. He was a neighbor, watching him literally, adjusting all the various, doctors would come in, get adjusted. He was in 5th quarter, by the way. And, he was adjusting students in the upper quarter and doctors. And I was noticing this and I was like, wow, this guy's pretty tapped in. And so I was in prereqs. I started saying, hey, can you teach, if I get a bunch of students together? I started promoting myself with him and, other students. So I learned how to adjust with Dr. Pete back in the day. And he started bringing a lot of the different mentors that he's had to school. Dr. Brown that he mentions, Dr. Kata came. We did a lot of different concept therapy seminars. But at that time, I was so young, I just didn't know how to bring in all the concepts that we were learning in the seminars to the table in front of me with the person in front of me. And now when I reunited with Pete, like last year or so ago, it was about a year and a half ago, I saw him talking about his school online. I called him and we hit it off, of course, again, got reunited. And he's really streamlined it so that it's really that what he teaches, the healing principles and all of the conscious, subconscious, all of that teachings is in front of you with the patient in front of you, how to incorporate all of those concepts and help people heal on the highest level, which is a little to do with the physical technique. So literally you can use literally any technique that you want with these healing principles and get, I mean, a 10 or 100 times the results. It's been sort of mind-blowing for me to watch this happen. And again, it didn't happen overnight. You know, for me, even having that background, I was probably using it for maybe 4 or 5 months where I started to go, oh, whoa. And then after the hands-on seminar in Atlanta, the first one we did, my results just like skyrocketed after that.
That's awesome. And then, you know, so what are some of your favorite patient testimonies that you've been able to witness?
Well, the most recent one, which just completely blew my mind yesterday, I've seen this woman over the years. She had pretty severe diabetic incident. Actually might have been a year ago. I saw her at Kroger. I had not seen her as a patient for a while. She was emaciated. I was like, oh my God, does she have cancer? What the heck is going on? I'm like, Sandra, what is going on with you? And she was literally had passed out in the middle of the aisle at Kroger. And, you know, she was rushed to the hospital. I think then she came back to work after that. She was not wanting to go to the medical doctors. She had been under care in the functional place that I worked in. And I was like, no, you actually need to go and get your blood sugar regulated at this time until that's handled. Like she was near death, like I'm telling you, near death. So then fast forward, she came in and started to see me previous to the zone. Then this past, what was it, like last week or so, I adjusted her at she was a zone 6 for circulation. I knew she's had, you know, diabetic neuropathy. Her blood sugar level is balanced now. Now that neuropathy is driving her nuts. I was just doing my thing, telling her, look, we're going to open up the channels down here at the low back. All this open, the channels will open. Your blood flow is going to be better. Your legs are going to feel great. And literally that's zone 6. The next time I saw her, which was yesterday, she was like, I have no more pain, no more tingling, and I have warm legs. My legs are warm. I've had to wear like 3 socks, you know, for like years. And, you know, it was relatively mind-blowing to have her go from years of diabetic neuropathy to a few visits. I would say that one profound visit with the suggestion I gave was like a wow moment. She was like blown away. And, you know, diabetic neuropathy is really, something to consider. I don't know how many chiropractors have had the opportunity to say, you know, I help somebody with diabetic neuropathy. You know, It's not back and neck pain.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's huge. You know, and that's one of the things that that we talk about a lot is you know, like what are people putting down on those intake forms whenever they first come into the office? You know, is it neck pain? Is it back pain? Is it headaches? You know, which is the typical thing. You know, and that's what most people think about when they go to go see a chiropractor. You know, and that's one of the cool things what the Zone School is evolving is our ability to showcase that we're able to help anybody. I mean, truly, and people are coming in for different things. Like I saw a patient with anxiety the other day as well too, just knew that I was helping people with that, and I'm happy to, because those were slam dunks. And what I do know is that over time, more and more people are going to be exposed to it, and then more and more chiropractors are going to be able to help more and more people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, so then with you, doing the zone work, and then, incorporating all these different things as well too. And, learning from how you got started into chiropractic school, all the awesome people that you've been mentored by as well too. Like what would you say to Melissa, the younger version of Melissa, enrolling at Life University for her first quarter? I mean, any advice that you would give to her? Because we have a lot of students that watch this. So what advice would you give to young Melissa?
Wow. You got to follow your gut. Number one, if something is really calling you, just go with it. And when I graduated, just before I graduated, I went around because I was listening to a lot of inspirational, speakers. Tony Robbins, came to our school. I've been to several of the seminars, just that kind of level of inspiration for sure. Definitely go and learn from somebody that you love and you want to model your office after. Work in their office. Like, I thought I was going to do that. I had promised myself, and one of the places I went, not that, this guy's awesome, but I just want to preface, I never really wanted to see 1,000 patients a week. That was never, my goal. Like, you got to be careful also about your body. You want to do this for like forever, see as many people as you want. Don't get me wrong. That was just never my thing. But I did go to see Ben Lerner in his office. I spent a week with him. I told one of my colleagues to go down and work with him, and he did. Well, he blew up his practice to like a 400 visit a week practice. So anything's possible. And I did see Ben Lerner adjust like 384 people in a day. That's awesome. But it's systems. From these successful people to have the systems, the infrastructure in your office. You want to have all these developed. So, before you graduate from school, it's really great. I've still been developing my systems.
Yep.
So yeah, you want to find somebody to model your practice after. So I did that mistake. I didn't work in someone's office. That was, one thing. So, and getting the right mentor or the right person. Pete has been incredible for that. He's not a practice building seminar. However, the side effect of getting results, which is what the zone technique gets you, is you're going to get referrals. People are going to talk about this. Absolutely. It's very unique. It's very different. Yeah, I don't even consider it like a quote unquote technique. It's a healing system.
100%.
It can be applied to anything. Now, stimulating the 4 points in the zones are powerful. So I can't imagine practicing any other way. Yeah, get a mentor. Oh, the other thing I would have done was, if you could figure out while you're in school, if this is for students, buying a condo or something and then renting out the rooms. And then at the end of school, now you have a investment that you can then either continue to rent out as passive income. So you have income coming in, and eventually when you sell that, you can make, 100,000.
Exactly. Yeah. And open up your own practice. And now these days, there's the Airbnb.
Airbnb is right. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Dr. Melissa. If you want to reach out to her, click somewhere around here. She's super easy to get a hold of. I really appreciate all the awesome advice you've been giving out to both chiropractic students and chiropractors.
Awesome.
And thank you so much.
Thanks, Dave.
Bye.